by saying to them, "You shall not press down upon the brow of labor this crown of thorns. You shall not crucify mankind upon a cross of gold."
I appeal to you to give us, during this transition time, a government that will be a union of all parties. And I ask you, therefore, at this election, to return a body of men of all parties, united in serving the national interest, and give them power.
Es will nicht den totalen Krieg, sagen die Engländer, sondern die Kapitulation. Wollt ihr den totalen Krieg? Wollt ihr ihn, wenn nötig, totaler und radikaler, als wir ihn uns überhaupt erst vorstellen können?
清は帝国政府をして米英と四国に対しその共同宣言を受諾する旨通告せしめたり。
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantial.
人民真活国，中央人民政府今天成立了。In the name of the greatest people that have ever trod this earth, I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny, and I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever. 2,000 years ago, the proudest boast was Civis Romanus Sum. Today, in the world of freedom, the proudest boast is, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Well, I said the same thing that everybody says, that his assassination was the result of the climate of hate. But only I said the chickens came home to roost, and which means the same thing. Climate of hate means that this is the result of something. And when I said chickens coming home to roost, I mean chickens.
Let our republicanism, so focused and so dedicated, not be made fuzzy and futile by unthinking and stupid labels. I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
La France entière sait, voit, entend ce qui se passe ici. Et je puis vous dire qu'elle en vaudra mieux. Vive Montréal, vive le Québec. Vive le Québec libre!
Well, you know, when I came back from Vietnam, I just had the greatest brainwashing that anybody can get.
By the generals?
When you go over to Vietnam, well, not only by the generals, but also by the diplomatic corps over there. And they do a very thorough job.
We must be mad, literally mad as a nation, to be permitted the annual inflow of some 50,000 dependents who are, for the most part, the material of the future growth of the immigrant-descended population. It is like watching a nation busily engaged in heaping up its own funeral pyre.
Well may we say, God save the Queen. Because nothing will save the Governor-General. The proclamation which you have just heard read by the Governor-General's official secretary was countersigned Malcolm Fraser.
There is no Soviet domination of Eastern Europe, and there never will be.
Where the pupils are allowed to win just one race each, for fear that to win more would make the other pupils seem inferior. That is a classic illustration of the socialist state, which draws nearer with every Labour government, and which Conservatives have never reversed. It's all right for some of you. Half of you won't be here in 30 or 40 years' time.
Why do you want to be president?
Well, were I to make the announcement and to run, the reasons that I would run is because I have a great belief in this country that it has more natural resources than any nation of the world.
When the Soviet Union walked out of arms control negotiations and refused even to discuss the issues, the San Francisco Democrats didn't blame Soviet intransigence, they blamed the United States. But then they always blame America first.
Mr. Reagan will raise taxes, and so will I. He won't tell you, I just did.
México es la dictadura perfecta. La dictadura perfecta no es el comunismo, no es la Unión Soviética, no es Fidel Castro, es México. Porque es la dictadura camuflada de tal modo que puede parecer no ser una dictadura.
If you're paying $12, $13, $14 an hour for factory workers, and you can move your factory south of the border, pay $1 an hour for labor, hire a young 25, that's assuming you've been in business for a long time, you've got a mature workforce. Pay $1 an hour for your labor, have no health care, that's the most expensive single element, making a car, have no environmental controls, no pollution controls, and no retirement, and you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going.
This is radical feminism, the agenda that Clinton and Clinton would impose on America. Abortion on demand, a litmus test for the Supreme Court, homosexual rights, discrimination against religious schools, women in combat units. That's change, all right, but that's not the kind of change America needs. It's not the kind of change America wants, and it's not the kind of change we can abide in a nation we still call God's country.
Neither party should be defined by pandering to the outer reaches of American politics and the agents of intolerance, whether they be Louis Farrakhan or Al Sharpton on the left, or Pat Robertson or Jerry Falwell on the right. We are the party of Abraham Lincoln, not Bob Jones.
They killed a number of their mercenaries, injured another number, and the rest flew like rats.
The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America? No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme.
And you know something? You know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Against the Patriot missile that shot down Saddam Hussein's Scud missiles over Israel, against the Aegis air defense cruiser, against the Strategic Defense Initiative, against the Trident missile, against against. This is the man who wants to be the commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces. U.S. forces armed with what? Spitballs?
Is simply barbaric. 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 Let that word resound from hill to hill and from mountain to mountain, from valley to valley, across this broad land. Barbaric. Barbaric.
But about a healthier America, where preventive care is not something that you have to pay a deductible for or out of pocket. That prevention. It's about diet, not diabetes. It's going to be very, very exciting. But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it away from the fog of the controversy.
Are you willing under those circumstances to say, I'm going to be the person, I'm going to sit in Teddy Kennedy's seat, and I'm going to be the person that's going to block it for another 15 years?
Well, with all due respect, it's not the Kennedy seat, and it's not the Democrat seat, it's the people's seat. And they have a chance to send somebody down there who's going to be an independent voter and an independent thinker and going to look out for the best interests of the people of Massachusetts.
You said before you have to walk the walk and you have to be a strong leader and respect Parliament. I've got to ask you then, why do you have the worst attendance record in the House of Commons of any member of Parliament? If you want to be Prime Minister, you better learn how to be a member of Parliament first. You know, most Canadians, if they don't show up for work, they don't get a promotion.
この津波をうまく利用してたね、外国をやっぱり一回洗い落とす必要があるね。積年溜まった日本人の心の垢をね。これやっぱ天罰だと思う、そら。
Get the hell off the beach in Asbury Park and get out. You're done. It's 4:30. You've maximized your tan. Get off the beach. Get in your cars and get out of those areas.
This is not about contraception, it's about religious freedom. And I don't want to judge people, but I think there would be a drift in the administration that this is a good issue. And if we can divide the Catholic community, because it's already divided, and if one can caricature the bishops as being hopelessly out of touch, these bullies who are trying to achieve judicially and legislatively what they've been unable to achieve because their moral integrity has been compromised recently, there's that force out there trying to caricature us.
He said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Tuvo un diálogo con ciudadanos que a veces los periodistas preguntamos unas cosas y los ciudadanos quieren saber qué tan cerca están los políticos de ellos con otros referentes. Entonces quería preguntarle cuánto cuesta el kilo de tortilla.
El kilo de tortilla, sí. No soy la señora de la casa. Está entre 7 y 8 pesos.
This is my last election, yeah. After my election, I have more flexibility. Yeah, I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and understand what.
An American citizen that's being targeted without due process of law, without trial, and he's underage, he's a minor.
I would suggest that you should have a far more responsible father if they're truly concerned about the well-being of their children.
Remember, there was no Palestine as a state. It was part of the Ottoman Empire. And I think that we've had an invented Palestinian people. Who are in fact Arabs and were historically part of the Arab community. And they had a chance to go many places. And for a variety of political reasons, we have sustained this war against Israel now.
いつの時から騒ぎになったと私は騒がれたら中国も騒ぐとならざるを得ない。韓国も騒ぎますよ。だから静かにやろうやというんで憲法もあるに気がついたらドイツのさっき話しましたけどもワイマール憲法もいつの間にか変わってて。ナチス憲法に変わってたんですよ。誰も気がつかないで変わったんだ。あの手口学んだらどうかね。